Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mark, and in this video, I'm going to actually step back and talk about some things that I haven't really talked about on this channel and in the podcast. And this really comes back to actually how I got started doing what I do and more or less why I did it. This is going to really take me back to over 8 years ago. And so the reason I'm reflecting on this right now is I'm actually on the coast of Croatia. And if anyone that knows me knows, my whole family's Croatian. My parents both were born here in the beautiful town of Šibenik, and I've been here for the last 2 weeks, floating up and down the coast, staying at some family homes, staying at a couple of resorts. Right now, I'm at Hotel Yuri, which is this really beautiful resort property. You got one of the islands that my grandfather was born on right over there called Krapan. My family's home, Verdarica, is right down there. The island in back of me, my grandmother was actually born on. The town just north of us that we could walk to right now, Zablace, another grandfather was born on. And then the island just right off of Zladin over there is where my other grandmother was born. So my family is from 4 square miles, all the same place, bunch of small villages. Everyone's connected, everyone knows each other. And I'm so blessed to be able to come here with my family and friends, show my girlfriend around. But to really reflect back on why I'm doing this episode and this video is I want to talk about how I got started really doing what I do, which is essentially growth consulting. Breadloaf is an agency, it's my company, and we also have Brand Marketer, which is our coaching info business as well that helps brands in a different way. I never really talk much about what I actually do or how I got started. And I'm going to bring you back to a little bit more about my past and how I actually got here and why I decided to start an agency. So I worked for brands for years. Like, I was obsessed working with brands. Even in college, I was doing design work, building little websites. I wanted to work in entertainment production, and that's where I thought my career was going to go. Actually, I wanted to start my own entertainment production company. I wanted to be producing big live events, concerts, music festivals, and through a series of events and working in the event, entertainment, marketing industries, I really found that I had a passion for working with brands and specifically working in a digital space because I can be anywhere in the world, remotely work. I closed 2 big contracts this week while working here. I've got multiple audits we're working on. I ran payroll. I've done everything working remote. And I feel like in this world we live in today, a lot of people are struggling to really find out, 1, what they're passionate about, and 2, like actually how to make a great income and be able to live a great lifestyle. Because there's a big fucking world out here. And to be chained to a damn desk and one location with 2 weeks PTO really sucks. And I would never want to go back there. And so that's where I'm going to really fast forward you about 8 years ago to tell you about my life and kind of how I got here. And so I worked for big ad agencies for years in entertainment production, digital production, experiential marketing, event production, like worked for a lot of big agencies. My goal was to become a producer, the head honcho running the show at these big events. And I finally got there and was loving it. And then ended up having the opportunity to come on board to help a couple buddies start another growth marketing agency. At the same time, I had been running my e-commerce wine business because I had been running an online wine business for about 5 years now, but we were really failing to get the traction with the resources we had. Running an e-commerce business is really, really hard. It's not getting any easier. It wasn't easy then, it isn't easy now. Some people get it really easy. They have a great product. They've got good product market fit, a lot of momentum, but for the most part, I feel like my expertise and what I bring to the table for a lot of it is actually just being there and having a lot of stabs in my back and going through a lot of failures. But enough said about that. I helped a couple buddies, came on board to help with sales, and then ended up coming on as director of ops with my operations, project management, producing experience, and was working at this agency. And I'll never forget, I had the opportunity to go to Lake Powell with some friends on an 8-day trip. It's going to be a long trip. And it was like one of those trips where I just had to do it. I hadn't taken any PTO off. I was grinding. I was working 10 to 15 hours a day. like just busting my ass for another business in hopes that I'd have a piece of it one day or a little piece of the pie. Not making much, but got sold on the vision of it. I'm still running my wine business, have the opportunity to be flexible with that, but I'm going into an office every day. I'm commuting in. It's not my business. And I remember having to ask for time off, like being able to ask for PTO. And I remember like the uncomfortable conversation when it was like, hey guys, I'm going to take a week off, which you have PTO, you can use it. Shouldn't be an issue at all, right? And I felt like it was cringe for me to ask for that time off. I remember being like, wow, not only did I just get to do this, but man, I couldn't imagine if I asked for 2 weeks off. How would they react in the future if it was that challenging to take a week off, right? Maybe even leave the country. And started thinking about all the things that I love to do. Go out on sailing adventures, go to the mountains and go skiing, come to Europe and go vacation. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm ever going to be able to work for somebody and actually be able to enjoy life and to be able to take time off here and there and to be able to do the things I want to do. It was really at that moment that I started having a little bit of an existential crisis. And I actually had a couple of panic attacks in the following months while I was at this job. Like I said, I was busting my ass, getting client results, helping grow the business. And it wasn't until a couple months later that this just kept on going on, where I essentially was just like, I don't know where I'm at in this life, but I have this wine business that I'm still running that's not making me much money. It's sometimes made money, sometimes you lose. If we stuck with it, we would still build something pretty cool. But if it wasn't really something I was passionate about anymore, I realized I was passionate about growing businesses and other people's businesses, but also like growing a business that I 100% own. And I'm in this paradigm of I'm growing a business that is really tough to grow. And I'm also like growing someone else's business, working for someone else's business. I realized I really enjoyed the client work. But I also really realized, like, I don't want to be going into an office every day. I don't want to be commuting in every day. I don't want to be on someone else's schedule. I'm just a mate on someone else's ship, having to respond to the captain, and I want to steer my own ship. I want to go where I want to go, and I'm never going to be able to do that by working for someone else. So that being said, I ended up leaving that company. I'm not gonna lie, I was actually fired, like first time in my life fired from for a position. And I'm not going to get into the reason why, but I was working literally 14 hours a day and was pushed out of a company. And that being said, I left and I spent some time and actually got the opportunity to come on board. My old boss, Andrew, hell of an awesome dude. He was my boss at AMCI, Automotive Marketing. It's a big omnicom agency I used to work for before that other company. And literally went on a guy's camping trip weekend to a ranch, shooting guns, going off-roading. And that next Monday had lunch with Andrew and then literally got hired on out of in a permalance position, which was great as a bridge. Not making much, still running the office, not very flexible schedule, but it's helped him pay the bills. And at the same time, I started to ramp down the wine business, close that thing out, really just made sure everything was paid, everything was taken care of, but just closed up the books. And from there, I started thinking, what's my next move right now? What's my next move that I want to do? I obviously want to run my own business. I love servicing other brands. I love working in e-commerce, brand, D2C space. And I wanted to continue to do that. But I knew if I was going to continue to do that, I was going to need to figure out what my game plan is. So started just putting together some personal branding assets for myself, like to build out a logo, just markmiliton.com, doing some consulting, started doing a little reaching out to my friends in my network, some of my old contacts, and had the Firmlates gig working for an on-demand car wash app, startup in LA called Squeegee. Then we got acquired a couple years later, but was it really enjoying it, working in performance, direct response, marketing for them. But I started just throwing out some feelers, and then all of a sudden, I ended up getting my first 2 clients. I ended up getting Diff Eyewear as one of my first clients, and then I ended up getting Plane Tags as a client as well. And Plane Tags is still one of my first clients. Still working with them today. Like, it's been amazing. But shortly, I realized I was making more money servicing these clients, moonlighting, doing growth consulting for them in my spare time at night than I was with my full-time day job. And so after about 2 months of that, and it's so crazy. I mean, this was like about 8 years ago. And I finally realized like, hey, if I want to do this full time, I want to get a couple more clients. I want to start doubling down. I want to start building a team. I need to focus on this, and I can't be working for someone else, even though the paycheck was great and the business was great. I needed to focus. So on my birthday, I actually quit, put in my 2 weeks, closed out great, still on great terms with Andrew, my old boss. Like we actually went to Burning Man together, sailed his boat all the way down to Cabo, for, the Baja Haha, like really great time still with him, but closed it off well, focused on the business, doubled down on it. And, here we are years later, still running it, ups and downs, brought on a partner, fought the partner out, but it's been an incredible ride. And I want to tie that back to why I think the business that I'm in is such a great business and why other people should potentially take the opportunity to look at it. It's just like, one, if you're looking to get into any type of remote consulting or any type of service-based consulting, you can do it anywhere in the world, right? You don't have to be in one place. You don't need an office. You don't need high overhead, right? You can start off by doing things that you know how to do. It's your own skills. And if you don't have a skill, go out and learn it and prove that you know how to get people results. That's all it comes down to. Like remote growth consulting, is that I do. I'm a growth consultant. Remote consulting is literally just getting a skill, proving that you can get people results with that skill, whatever it is, right? And going after it and getting clients, servicing clients, building a team, building the systems, and scaling it. And I've been able to build like an incredible business that allows me to do so many other things, allows me to focus on other business opportunities, other investments. Hell, I'm literally like in my motherland, in the home country. I'm looking off on where my grandparents were born at a beautiful resort with my family, my girlfriend. We head down to the pool shortly. And I just couldn't be more blessed to be able to do what I do. Like I could not be more blessed. I'm so happy, so grateful. Of course I want more, but I wouldn't trade what I do for anything. Like I would not trade it. I want more. I want to grow my business more. I want to do more things, but I have freedom. I have so much freedom, and that freedom is worth millions of dollars a year. Could not be replaced. Could not be replaced. Could not be replaced. So going back to what we'll call it remote consulting, growth consulting is like, I really think that if you're at a point in your career and you're not happy with what you're doing, it doesn't matter what field you're in, you can find a model to service businesses and get paid to do it. It just takes the right systems. It takes a little risk, little ingenuity. You got to be able to put yourself out there, right? You got to be able to do these things. But the freedom, if you don't want to show up to an office every day, like it's not yours. If you don't want to ask for paid time off, if you don't want to ask for permission to go, hell, see your kids for recital midday, if you don't ask permission to take a longer lunch, whatever it is, this is literally the best freaking business you can be in. It is the best. You can scale up, you can scale down. You can take more risk. You can take less risk. You can have more time. You can have more freedom. You can have more money. And I would just challenge anyone right now that's listening to this or potentially is in a certain point of their life, but they're not really sure what they want to do. Take some time to think and see if this is potentially a good opportunity for you. Because like I said, it changed my life. And I worked in the agency space and finally got the balls to say, I can do it. I can do it on my own, and went and had to figure everything out on my own, right? I didn't have a coach or mentor early. I had to figure everything out on my own, how to build systems, how to fire, how to build operations, how to get clients on demand, how to build referral systems, like how to do all these things. I had to figure it out. It definitely wasn't easy, but it's changed my life. And I'm hoping that if anyone's listening to this, it might inspire you to want to try the same. And if you are interested in wanting to potentially do something like this yourself, feel free to reach out to me, schedule a call. I'd be happy to chat with you a little bit more about it. I'm going to be building a little bit more content on this in the future because something I'm super passionate about. And I want to share more about like how this has really evolved in my life and it's made it better. So I hope this video is helpful and I hope it inspires at least one person, either listening or watching. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks. Catch you later.